Hi, I'm Neil Peat. I'm the Head of Business at Harwood Land Rover. I'd just like to take a few minutes to talk to you about petrol, diesel and maybe hybrid technology. There's been a lot of coverage of that in the media over the past year, and there's also a lot of confusion as to what's right. Is it petrol, is it diesel? I think to some extent diesel has been unfairly demonised. So I'd like to talk about that today and my own personal experiences from driving petrols and driving diesels to see if I can help make things clearer for you. Firstly, Land Rover are in a very strong position in the market in that they have a number of different model variants, petrol, diesel and hybrid technology. For example, the newer Evoque, which has just been launched, has 3 petrol engines with mild hybrid technology, 3 diesel engines, 2 of which had mild hybrid technology. So whichever way you decide to go, throughout the range we'll have a model which will suit. But let's go back inside and I'll share my other thoughts with you. So why do I think diesels have been unfairly demonised? Well, the stance has been that diesels are dirty and polluting, and I think what's wrong with this is it's putting all diesel engines in one category, when in fact a lot of the older buses, trucks, cars, yes, they do emit quite a lot of soot particles and dangerous chemicals, but modern diesel engines, they're so much cleaner than they've ever been before. One of the main pollutants that is talked about with diesels is nitrous oxide, and with the technology that we've got nowadays in terms of AdBlue and diesel particulate filters, nitrous oxide levels are actually not that far off the equivalent petrol engines in their levels. So where manufacturers are now creating much cleaner diesel engines, it's not fair that we put those in with all those dirty old truck engines that you see pushing out smoke and soot in villages and towns around us. And in fact, it's been said by many industry leading figures that actually diesel engines can play a role in reducing or increasing air quality around our country. So I'm very lucky working for a Land Rover dealership that I get to drive many different vehicles month by month, and I took the decision a few months ago to actually drive a petrol vehicle, having driven mostly diesels over the past few years. And I have to say the petrol engines that JLR produce are fantastic. However, I did miss the characteristics that we've all got used to driving diesels. I really missed that torque, that low down pull that you get when you put your foot down in a diesel engine. That's not quite there in the same way as it is in a petrol engine. And the efficiency, you know, diesel engines at the end of the day are still around 25%, if not more, efficient when we look purely at miles per gallon than the equivalent petrol engines. So you're visiting the fuel pump much more frequently. The other significant pollutant is CO2. Now diesel engines are much lower generally than their equivalent petrol engines in their CO2 emissions, and experts have started to say that for the first time since 2003 CO2 levels in our atmosphere have actually started to increase. So again, diesels can play quite a critical role in actually keeping that CO2 level as low as possible. One of the conversations I often hear, being based in the southeast of England, close to London, is that people fear the surcharges that you can get lumped with if you go into the congestion charge zone in London. And that's not necessarily the case for most modern diesel engines. You can actually go on the government's website and check your own vehicle on there, but most modern diesel engines don't attract that diesel surcharge. So if you're still unsure about which is the right choice for you, why don't you come down to one of our 6 Land Rover sites in the area and meet our team, and they can give you some guidance on what the best option might be for you.